Greetings, fellow bridge lovers. Good evening, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be looking at an absolutely crazy hand. It involves trump coups out the wazoo, and some very obscure little strategies and all sorts of fun things. I had the pleasure of playing on a team with Peter Boyd Bowman, Alex Taylor, Ron Smith, Tracy Bauer, Nicholas Hanman, and John McAllister in an OCBL, which is online contract bridge league, where they hold online events with teams that could have unlimited numbers of players on them. And basically, you just play against these teams, and it's a round-robin format initially, and then there's semifinals and finals, and it's normally played in a 3-day spree, and there are monthly cups. So it's an amazing event run by the OCBL, and it's a pretty competitive field. There's some really good players, so if you can get in, it's definitely worth the entry fee. So today, we're going to be talking about a hand that I didn't play, but my teammates did play, and it's a very interesting board. So let's get into it, but before we do, could you please do me a favor and subscribe to the channel and like this video? You can always wait to the end to do that, of course, to see if you like it first, but if you do, I would very much appreciate it. And now, let us get into this wonderful, this beautiful, this strange hand where every club counts. So this is our hand. We start off with a pass from our right-hand opponent, and we open one diamond. We've got a beautiful 18 high card point hand. It's a 1-4-4-4, which is arguably probably the worst hand shape ever created, in my opinion. But let's keep going. It goes one diamond, pass, and then one no trump from partner, 6 to 9 high card points, just a balanced hand. And then we bid 3 clubs, showing our strength. There's a question of whether partner might expect us to have 5 diamonds and 4 clubs, but at this point, it's the only bid that is kind of accurate here, because we don't necessarily want to just bid 3 no trump. We don't really have a balanced hand, and our singleton spade doesn't look that appealing, especially when partner probably doesn't have a 4-card spade suit. So 3 clubs seems to be like our only option. And now we have 5 clubs from north, which is showing just a strong hand that wants to play in 5 clubs. And we end up here in 5 clubs, and we get the ace of spades lead. My first instinct is, oh, dang it, we've missed slam. We have so many tricks. We've got 3 clubs, 4 hearts, 4 diamonds, and as long as we're able to rough 2 spades, we've just missed slam here. But if you look a little bit closer at this hand, you'll realize that if you have a bad club split, it's not that pretty. And the first thing I notice is if we're playing in imps, which means that we want to make our contracts. So if there's a way that we can guarantee making 5 clubs, we should take it. And the first thing that comes to my mind is a safety play. And I've actually spent about 2 hours looking at this hand, trying to find the best line. And there's plenty of safety plays if things split 4-1. The only problem is if things are 5-0. And when 5-0 splits happen, that's when you really need to get your calculating caps off. And it took me a while staring at double dummy for a bit, trying to find what the most likely play is going to work. So first, I want to take you through how this hand was played at the table. It was a wondrous effort, but it did result in down 1, which probably you can guess what the problem is. The clubs split 5-0. So let's take a look at how the play went. So the play went spade, 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 and queen of spades, and we trumpet, and declarer then decided to check to see how the trump are, and because if you can just draw trump, right, you have enough tricks. You've got 3 clubs, 4 hearts, 4 diamonds. If you can just draw trump, you make even slam if the club split 3-2. But here, declarer realizes that they split 5-0. So now we know that the Jack 9, 4-3 are with West, and that isn't great because, like, even though we have the 10, we can't finesse. So we can't really work on things that way. So what the declarer decides to do is whenever there's a bad trump break, you realize at this point that you will always be losing 1 more club. There's no way to really avoid it except for like some really odd circumstances. If you've seen some of the Bridgemaster hands, there are ways to do it, but here declarer just decided to stop drawing trump and play the Queen of Hearts to unblock the heart suit. They played a spade to trump it with the 10, which holds. This could have been a little bit dangerous because West has a pretty high likelihood of being out of spades at this point. This is the third spade trick. And Declare actually has kind of a reason for this, because they know that they're going to lose a club. Why not lose it now? If they lose it now, they're going to be winning it with the Jack, which is one of their high cards, which they're always going to have to lose one of those cards. The goal that Declare has at this point is not necessarily to avoid losing trump tricks. It's avoiding losing trump tricks with the defense's 3 and 4 of clubs. Those are ones that you want to avoid. You know where your loser is going to be, so you have to guarantee that that's your loser and that you are not going to lose the 3 or 4 of trump. So getting trumped here isn't the end of the world, because they're trumping with the Jack. They have the 9, and you have the 6 and 5 and king. There's trump coup possibilities in the end. So Declare starts playing out the heart, and they pitch their spade loser. And then they play the ace of diamonds and cash that. And then they play another heart, and it goes heart, diamond, heart. And then Declare decides to play a heart. And here they get trumped with the Jack of clubs. And Declare, this was their one mistake. I want to stop and see. Put it in the comments below. What do you think Declare did, and why is it a mistake? But here, what happened, Declare played the king of clubs, and this actually guarantees that you go down 1. You would think that over-roughing is, you're just avoiding losing a trick here. So it just goes queen of diamonds, and then we play the Jack of diamonds, which gets roughed with a low club, and that's the problem. Now there's no way for us to avoid losing the 9 of clubs, and we've just lost the 3 of clubs because we can't over-trump it. So all that happened after this was it went ace of clubs and 9 of diamonds, which got trumped with the 9 of clubs, and we can't beat that. So if we go back, let's see what happens if we play something else, and you'll have all of the cards up here for you. If instead of playing the king of clubs, we actually are supposed to pitch a diamond. Queen of diamonds, 8 of diamonds, it doesn't matter. We have to pitch a diamond here. And this guarantees making. And you're just like, why am I throwing away a winner? And it's more so because remember how they trumped in with a low club on our diamond? Now that doesn't happen anymore, because now we have an equal level shortness of diamonds as the opponents do. So no matter what happens now, if they play another club, right, now we play the king of diamonds, and now we have a trump coup. We know that West has the 9 and 4, and our king and 6 are higher than the 9 and 4, right? So all we need to do is play a diamond. If they play the 4, we play the 6, right? And then we win that trick, and then the king. If they play the 9, then we win the king, and then we win the 6, and then you made the contract. So Declare came really, really close here, but no cigar. It was a very, very difficult hand. Not easy to find at all. But I spent about 2 hours today looking at this hand and trying to find the optimal line for making this contract, period. There's safety play. I couldn't get to 100% line, but I'll show you what I did come up with. It covers 100% of a 5-0 split, and it covers 100% of the 4-1 splits. There's just one 5-0 split that it doesn't necessarily work on that well here. I found it difficult to account for 100% lines on both 5-0 splits. I don't think that there is one, but if y'all can find one, then please feel free to prove me wrong. So let's take a look at that. Here we are again, and this is going to be demonstrating the safety play that I think works, and it's going to be working on any 4-1 split. And the idea here is that if it's a 4-1 split, there's a simple concept where we can kind of count the tricks that we're going to lose. We've already lost one spade, and we can guarantee that we're only going to lose one more club if it splits 4-1. So the idea is we play a heart down, and then we just finesse the club. We play the 10, and we know that if things split 4-1, then there's worlds where we lose tricks, there's worlds where we don't lose tricks, but we play low to the 10 and then the Jack, and whenever we play, whatever they play back, let's say they play a spade back, right? We play the club, and then we just draw trump, and then we have the rest of the tricks, as long as they don't rough in on this diamond, which seems quite unlikely. So we're going to play this, and then we have the rest of the tricks. And the safety play is this way, right? You finesse towards the 10 because there's a 50% chance that the jack is on side. However, you could play it in a different direction. Let's go back to this point here. This is after we've won the queen of spades. And the first safety play that I thought about was playing the 8 and running it around to the 6, or just letting it run at this point. And this is concerning because if East happens to win this trick, like if they have the 9 or the jack, what they're going to be playing next is a spade. They're going to be playing the king of spades. And in any time where West happens to have jack fourth or 9 fourth, no, it would be jack fourth left at this point. If they play the king of spades and West only has doubleton spade, then they're getting a trump promo. If you play the 10 of clubs, then the jack of clubs is going to come out and win the trick. If you play the ace of clubs, well, there's nothing you can do because then the West hand still has 3 trump to the jack, and no matter what you do, they're going to get another trick. I would only take the safety play this way because if you do the safety play the other way, there's a chance of a trump promo. Now, let's take a look at the 5-0 splits. So now we're on the hand with a 5-0 split with the East. East has 5 clubs, and this is the easy 5-0 split to pick up. We've already figured out that this line, by trumping the spade and then coming around to our trumping the spade and then going up to the queen of hearts and then taking this finesse this way, guarantees it for a 4-1 split. But what if they are 5-0? Now we know that East has jack 9, 4-3 remaining in clubs, and this is still pretty simple. We kind of do the same thing. We just ignore it. We just keep playing hearts. We pitch our spades and our diamonds, and they can decide to rough in. They don't rough in here, but whenever they rough in, they're just going to have to, there's nothing that they can do. Like, they rough in here. If they play a spade, if they play a club, then we can just draw the trump, and then we got our diamond winners. If they play a spade, we can just trump with our 8 and then pitch our diamond, and then we only have high trump left at this point. There's nothing that they can do. So this 5-0 split, this is a foolproof plan. However, the hard one is the other 5-0 split, where we run into some other issues and it's a little bit more complex. So here we are on the last scenario that I've come through, and this one, the 5-0 split, is in the West, and not all scenarios are covered with this line. I've calculated that if West has 4 spades from the beginning, this line doesn't work. I've tried to find some lines that work with 4 spades in the West, and they all come up with some wacky squeeze plays, squeeze and trump coup plays. They're really hard to calculate, and they would require you to guess some things. And this line here, the idea is that this line works anytime that West has 3 spades. The more important thing is that West has 5 or more cards in the red suits, and you're fine with this line. But if they have 4 spades, then there becomes a problem because they're able to trump in and obstruct some of your entries. So let's do this line. It goes ace of spades, queen of spades. We trump in, we play a heart to the queen, and then we see that East shows out, therefore West has 5 clubs. And we don't want to play the 10 of clubs here. We're not going to finesse. There's no point in doing that, because then we would lose the jack, and then they still have one more trump than us, and they would win that as well. So that's an automatically losing play. So at this point, when we see that East shows out, we know to take the ace. We're not touching trump at all. And what we're going to do is we're just going to play the ace of hearts, right? And we're going to start pitching our diamonds. It is important, it is imperative that we start pitching our diamonds for that reason that we saw earlier on the first example, how the line actually went through, because we want to be sure that they are not going to be able to use their little clubs to be trumping our diamond winners. And as long as we can avoid that by pitching diamonds, we have a chance at making this contract. So now we play the king of hearts, and then we pitch another diamond, and we pay the jack of hearts. And when they trump in with the 9 of clubs here, what are we supposed to do? Yeah, it's the same thing. We should probably just pitch the diamond. We were always going to lose a club trick, whether it would be with the jack or the 9. And we are just trying to be sure that our diamonds are not going to be getting trumped by the opposition. So now what happens is they play a diamond, right? And now we win the 9, and then it goes ace. We pitch a spade, and then we play the king. And if they trump in, right, we just over trump. And at this point, we know that West has another spade, right? Because we counted out their hearts. They had 3 hearts in the beginning, and then they also had 5 clubs. They had 2 diamonds, so they must have 1 spade remaining because we know that they have 2 clubs left. So it goes spade, trump, and we can trump this, and then we've got the king and queen of clubs remaining for making. And if they decide to pitch a spade instead, right, then we have to just play the jack of diamonds. We pitch the loser, we do the trump coup anyway, and then, yeah, there's nothing else for the defense there. So anytime that there are fewer than 4 spades in the West hand, this hand has a chance. I've looked through the scenarios on the others. It is still possible. Yeah, there's some wacky things that happen where you actually squeeze the East hand in diamonds and in spades, and you also trump coup West at the same time. That's another very interesting line. If you want to see that line, I can post another video, but this video has already ran long enough. So this was a wild hand. A hand that looks very, very trivial from the very beginning gets very, very difficult when you realize that one of them has 5 trumps. So I have been tired of this hand because I kept finding ways for the defense to just obliterate things, and I kept finding this pattern of how to trump coup, and I thought it was all just guesswork on how many diamonds West had to have, and it was more so how many hearts and diamonds could you cash before they rough in. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please, if you made it all the way through, go ahead and hit that like button if you did enjoy. Let me know if you think that you can find a better line. I expect that this covers about 98% of all chances that you are going to be making your 5 clubs contract. I didn't go for over tricks or anything. This is just absolutely guaranteeing 5 clubs, and in all scenarios, as long as West has 4 spades, this line works. If you want to see a line, if you want to see some very, very frisky line from this hand, I can also share them, but please, you've got to let me know because they're a lot more obscure. But yeah, that's it for this hand. And I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful week, everyone. And yeah, keep on bridging, everybody. Bye!